ladies and gentlemen, and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host, Brett Murphy, and for today's video, it is going to be another entry into the Movie Nerds Club. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Movie Nerds Club is, it is a group of smaller movie-based content creators who have come together and on the first Saturday of every month, collectively release our own individual versions of the same video. And for this month's topic, it is going to be the top 5 horror movies that anyone can watch. Now, as for myself personally, I have taken a slightly altered approach to this idea. It very much so still falls within the realm of horror movies that anybody can watch, but I more so approach this list in the mindset of what are 5 horror movies I would recommend to any newcomers to the genre. A way to sort of ease newbies into the more extreme side of horror. And before we hop into the actual list itself, I just wanted to let you all know that I will have all of my fellow Movie Nerd Club members' channels linked in the description, so please make sure to go and check out their videos, compare our lists, show them some love, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. And now with all that being said, let's hop right into things. Number 5, Zombieland. If you've been following this channel for a while, then it should come as no shock at all when I reiterate to the newcomers that I am a massive zombie content lover. Movies, video games, TV shows, comic books, I love it all. And if I was to recommend just one zombie movie to genre newcomers, then it would definitely be this one. It sort of hits that sweet spot where it's not too raunchy, not too gory, and not too scary and intense. But what it does have is an all-star cast with fantastic chemistry, superb, well-timed comedy, and the perfect amount of zombie mayhem to properly introduce you to the subgenre and see just how much you can handle. Number 4, Get Out. Get Out, in my mind, is easily one of the best horror movies of the last decade. It's slick, stylish, and incredibly clever. Not only does it blend an unsettling atmosphere, with a story that goes much deeper than most expected, with a commentary on modern society and a batch of refreshing twists and turns. In my eyes, it's the best possible way to become familiar with the current modern landscape of horror, while also giving yourself the chance to check out what is sure to become a classic. Number 3, Alien. And now we're getting into some genre bending, with arguably the best sci-fi horror flick of all time. And that, of course, is Ridley Scott's 1979 Alien. With a dynamic cast of likable and memorable characters, one of cinema's most iconic movie monsters, brilliant atmosphere, stunning set design, a magnificent score, I could genuinely go on and on about this movie. But now that it's aged quite a bit, like a fine wine I might add, the scares aren't really there all that much anymore. But the intense, edge-of-your-seat game of cat and mouse will forever live on, which is what makes it one of the most perfect choices for an introduction to the genre. Number 2, Insidious. I would say that, in my mind, this is probably the limit for a newbie to the genre or someone who's a bit younger. For me, this was the first real horror movie that I watched. Well, sort of watched, through my fingers covering my eyes for the vast majority of the movie when I was like 12. Nevertheless though, I still really enjoyed it back then, and even more so now. I can confidently say that this movie is what initially piqued my interest into the genre. And now the horror genre is among my favorites because of just how diverse and unique it can really be. This movie, for the most part, is your standard haunted house affair. But director James Wan, the master that he is, still found countless ways to subvert expectations and make it all feel new and exciting. It's kind of whimsical and kind of silly, but also deeply unsettling and often outright terrifying. And number 1, any slasher. The slasher subgenre of horror is my favorite of the subgenres. I find nothing captures the spirit of Halloween, which is my favorite time of year, quite like slashers do. And that is exactly why I can't recommend just about any slasher out there enough. Because even the worst of the worst out there can still be mindless, goofy fun, while the best of the best can leave you wildly paranoid. Of course, my main recommendations though would be the most iconic ones, like Halloween, Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, or the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They're all so easy just to kick your feet up and watch. But I also do highly recommend you try to find some of the more unique ones out there, like You're Next or Happy Death Day. This entire subgenre is by far the best way to ease someone else or yourself into the horror genre. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my top 5 picks. And once again, I would like to reiterate to you all that I will have all of my fellow Movie Nerd Club members' channels linked down in the description. So be sure to go and show them your support. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more content, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.